this is very dark. So, can I even do it in this light? I was listening to Maua from Maua's World. Every time I listen to her, I'm always inspired to make some type of video or comment on what she's saying. I was listening to her video on Call Out Abusers, and she was talking about racism and calling folks out on their shit that they do, and also on how people don't always have videos on things that happen to them. And I was just talking to my mom today. Today is the 15th of July 2020, and we were talking about videos and some of the things that they've been running on the TV that we're looking at over and over and over and over, which is very, very disturbing. And, I was saying it's funny how we have all these videos, thinking back to Rodney King's video and how nothing was done. They tried to kill that man, That's what it looked like to me. And they didn't do anything. So we had a video, and we've had several videos, and we've had videos even going back to like the 60s, dogs, hoses, batons, and it's like they were, the powers that be were in agreement and were justified in their minds for doing what they were doing. It was lawful for them to do what they were doing. And so these videos that we're seeing now, it's like when I look at the video, I see abuse, I see murder, I see disregard for feelings, emotions, for life. And when those other folks look at it, the light ones with the straight hair, they don't see that, They don't see any of what we see. It's like we're looking at two different things. And the video doesn't seem to bring justice for the persons or persons. And if the video wasn't there, it'll be like it never happened. And I'm saying that to say, when I had my incident in the ambulance with the two white people who pulled me off after I had already been in an accident, pulled me off by my already hurting arms, told me to get the fuck off their ambulance. There was no video. There was nobody who saw it. I tried to get a video from the hospital here in Atlanta. Nobody could help me. They said I couldn't retrieve it. I would have to get a lawyer, which I didn't have at the time. Somebody recommended that I call the police. They said, we don't do that kind of thing. They weren't going to help. I went to the head of the hospital twice. The head, I can't even think of his name, but the head dude, he never called me back. The video from the actual accident on the bus, the MARTA bus, they said, oh, we don't have it. It disappeared. And I was telling my mom how when I was on this ambulance, the lady was so abusive, I felt, verbally to me. The way she was questioning me while I'm trying to hold my head because I'm in a lot of pain from the accident that I was just in. And she's asking me all these questions, and I finally told her I just couldn't talk to her right now. I was in a lot of pain. I was crying. I could barely speak. She asked me, have you ever been diagnosed with a mental condition or some shit like that? And I was like, what? And I was thinking about it today. I said, if she put something like that in there, which I'm not sure if she did or not, and I get to the hospital, they could have taken me somewhere to the crazy floor and put me in a straitjacket. You know what I mean? I was distraught. I was in pain. I had just been in an accident. And she wanted me to sign this stuff that she was doing on the computer. And I told her I wasn't going to do that because I couldn't even see it. I didn't even know what it was. It wasn't even visually up for me to see it when she handed it to me. And I couldn't see it also because my eyes were just full of water. I was crying so much. I was in a lot of pain. I told her I wasn't going to sign that because I couldn't see it and I wasn't going to sign anything that I couldn't view. She said, well, I'm just going to put on here, you refuse to cooperate. I said, you put on there whatever you want to. And then they yanked me off. They pulled me down. They wouldn't give me a wheelchair. She wouldn't allow me to lie on a stretcher in the ambulance. So my head is bouncing all around. So when I got off, I was even more pain. They pulled me off. And I told the man, I said, if you're not going to help me, could you just leave me alone? And then he poked me in my arm. He said, every time I help you, you scream. Because I had started screaming because they were yanking me by my arms that was already hurting. It was just a hot mess. And it's like the sister Mao was saying, she had this incident. She reported it, but where did the report go? She has no idea. Where's the justice? What happened to this man, that did what they did to her? What happened to these people that did what they did to me? I reported it. I reported it to the hospital. I reported it to the ambulance service. I reported it to patients' relations or whatever. I reported it to the police. I reported it to the people that was trying to bill me $2,000 for the ambulance, $5,000 for the hospital service. There's other monies that I incurred or bills that I'm not paying none of that shit. None of it. Nothing was done in my favor. All I got was pain, bills, and now, mental distress and dis-ease that's lasting with me. This was almost 2 years ago. I was dealing with anxiety about being in cars, hearing ambulances and sirens, and it's just ridiculous. Every time I listen to Mawa, I feel like I need to get on here and say something, because some of the things that she's saying, I've experienced. I lived in Germany. I had a couple of racial incidents, and prior to that, this was in 2000, 2001. I don't remember having any of that kind of stuff go on until I got there, actually. And I was like, damn, I can't even really be out on the street at night because these people over here, I heard when I was over there that they were still telling the little children that black people had tails. I'm like, what? This was in 2000, so 10 years earlier, that's what they were still telling people. People were still saying stuff like that. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I also heard, after I had the accident, or the bus accident and the situation on the ambulance, that this white friend that I have, her husband, who was in training for EMS, said that they mentioned to them in class that black women don't feel pain like everybody else. I don't know if he said in that to them that was a factual thing that he was trying to share with them, or is it something he heard, or he was sharing what somebody else said. But just the fact that you even said that and you put this in these young people's minds for them to come out here, and I'm like, I don't even want these people over in my community. I'm like, I have elders here, friends here. This is what you sent out to come deal with us in moments where we need you to be of service, to be caring, to do what you fucking supposed to do your job. Whatever. Leave a comment if you like.